it might be worth looking at. I kind of like it. It ties into what we're going to be talking about today, and just kind of being aware of how we respond to people can kind of make communication either start to become a conflict or go well. And this is a little bit going to lead into like not avoiding conflict like you're ignoring it, but trying to not, get into it unknowingly, but looking at skills through communication that can help you with that. So let me pull up my screen. Oh, nope, I don't want that one yet. Sorry, just kidding. Let's see. I'm gonna get there. There it is. So we're gonna talk about communication. I actually was thinking that I would do this entire thing with memes, but then I thought maybe that got a little hard. So, but here,
oh my gosh.
we're looking at why and how are we going to communicate well, and this is a skill that you need not only just in life in general, right, with making your relationships and everything you do go smoother, but also on the job site. Communication skills is one of the top things employers look for. So what does that mean, really? Like, you could think I'm an amazing communicator, but you really need to figure out if you're doing that well, or if you're just talking over everyone or not hearing what they're saying. So if you feel like everyone is always yelling, or if it's you that's doing all the yelling, we might want to reevaluate how we're doing that. So the very first tip for this is listening is the very top thing for communication. It's the number one thing people don't do well. When someone's talking to you and the whole time you're thinking about what you're going to say next, that's not actually listening. A lot of people do it, right? Someone's telling a story or they're sharing, and you're just thinking, oh, that reminds me of this. And then you're waiting for them to stop talking so you can share. But it's in a situation, especially like at work, or a situation where maybe there's like a miscommunication, you really want to make sure you're actually listening to what the person is saying, and making sure you're not just waiting for them to stop talking so you can talk. So we had, hold on a minute, I want to see. Listening isn't always what you think it is. So we're going to go through a little scenario and look at different responses people give when someone shares, and kind of look at what are some good ways that you can be listening and then really sharing with someone and hearing them and making sure that it's being understood. So here's a scenario. If someone says to you, gosh, I was so tired, I didn't get any of my work done. Some of the typical responses that people can give are like one-upping, like, oh yeah, me too. I was so tired too. You know what? I haven't gotten work done for 3 days, right? We've all done this, and we've all had those people who have like one-upped. And often thinking of a conversation as not a competition is important to not create conflict. Did somebody have something to say?
I kind of got a problem with that, because like I'll do the same thing, but it's not as in like I'm one-upping you. It's more as in I'm communicating and I'm showing you that like we've had the same problems before. I'm not trying to one-up you or anything like that. It's more of that I'm communicating with you and I understand your situation.
Yes.
More of that.
Yes, I totally hear that. And I understand that is often why people do it, right? They're not actually trying to one-up you. They're trying to say, oh, I understand your situation. I'm experiencing a similar thing. I totally understand that. I think what I'm saying here is to be careful it doesn't come across as one-upping. If you have a good relationship with whoever is sharing this with you, they're probably not going to think you're just trying to outdo them. And they're just going to be like, yeah, you get it. You understand what I'm going through. And there's other ways you can say it too. I'm not saying it's bad to say it. You just want to be careful with someone maybe you don't know very well. And saying things like, oh, I can totally understand that. I've had a similar experience, or, things like that. Another one people often do, and again, none of these are done to be mean. It's just being aware of how you're responding sometimes to a person. You could try advising or fixing, right? So if someone tells you, gosh, I was so tired, I didn't get any work done. And there are some people who quickly respond with, oh, so have you tried going to bed earlier? Hey, have you tried drinking more coffee? Hey, right? If you're trying to fix or advise, again, it's not meant to be mean or malicious, but to just think about how is that person receiving what you're saying to them in that situation, and being aware of if maybe they don't want you to fix or advise, they just want you to hear them, or educating like, oh, hey, I heard this great, video about how to be more productive or whatever. Or the other one that can not seem very nice is just discounting it like, yeah, well, you know what, at least you're here today, so, you know, carry on kind of thing. We've all done this and we've all experienced it, and it's not always a bad thing. It's just having an awareness of how that comes across, maybe in a situation. And I'm thinking, especially in a work situation where someone is sharing, or your boss is saying, I'm really going to need you to get these things done because we all haven't been able to meet this goal. And then if, it turns into like a discounting it, or trying to advise, can get into a conflict situation. So you just want to be careful. And I just want to give you some examples. Did anyone have anything else they wanted to share about that?
No, just listening.
All right. So think about your body language, and notice other people's body language. We all watch body language. We're social creatures as human beings, right? Like we don't.
Yeah, very.
You are always paying attention to how a person is responding to you in their body language. Like their words could be saying one thing, but if they're standing in a certain way, or they've got this certain look, like, I don't think they're hearing me, or I don't think they're taking this well. So be aware of other people's body language as you are talking. Also be aware of your own. I have a terrible habit of, I love to stand with my arms crossed because it's comfortable. And I just don't like my hands hanging down at my sides. So, but I realize that can give off this, especially someone who doesn't know me, a very standoffish approach. So I've worked hard to figure out other ways to like stand, maybe with my hands in my pocket or something like that. Also, this is super critical when we talk more about doing interviews. Your body language is the first thing that this person is going to see of you, and that's their first impression. So being aware of how you carry yourself. Do you make eye contact? You seem very distracted. Do you look standoffish? Those kind of things. Just body language carries a lot when we're trying to communicate with other people or have a conversation. So also your emotional awareness. I mean, if you look at these two people in this room, in this situation, what do you think is happening here? Anyone can share, or you can put it in the chat. I can't see the chat though, so.
Looks like she's zoning out while the other one's trying to talk to her.
Totally does, yeah.
Looks like they don't want to listen to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that she doesn't want to listen to her, so she's just looking away.
Yeah.
That's what you get for a millennial.
Does the other person
Bruh, Evan.
What about the lady with like that pink shirt and like the older woman in the back? Does she seem enthused about
It seems like a sad girl.
Seems like what?
A sad girl.
Sad girl?
She's in a grumpy mood, is what it looks like.
It does. It looks like
It looks like her mom just told her off.
Yes.
Being told what to do and not being liking it.
Yep. There's all kinds of stuff happening here. I think at the end of the day, though, this doesn't look like we're having a really great communication or conversation. Like, I don't think if they walked away from either one of them felt like, oh, that worked out well. Right?
Yeah.
So I talk about emotional awareness and knowing your triggers. And I know that word triggers can be this whole other thing. But what I mean by that is know what was going to set you off. If you know that a certain person is going to want to talk about a topic or a thing that you're just like, I can't have it, I can't hear that one more time, be aware that is something you're already going to have to deal with in that situation.
I smell good.
If you just know that a certain topic is just not a good topic for you right now, if it's politics, if it's whatever that's going on, your family, and you have different things that annoy you with different people, right? Like for me, family, man, they can get you going. They know your buttons and they can say those things that I would be fine if anyone else in the world said it, but put me in a room with some of my family members and it's going to drive me crazy. So I just need to be aware of that when I'm heading into those situations and kind of have a plan in my head about I'm not going to engage, or I'm not going to say these things or whatever it might be. But knowing what your response is to those situations, just having some more self-awareness about it so that you don't find yourself getting egged into an argument you didn't want to be in anyways, right? Like we've done it, we've been there. It's hard, but knowing, hey, you know what? I'm going to be around these people. It's going to be really hard. This is really important at the work site. You're not going to love everyone that you work with. It's just,
Yeah.
it just doesn't happen. I really hope you have a few people.
We try. Yeah.
But man, it's not going to be everyone. So how do you negotiate that setting and not end up losing your job over fighting, or how do you end up making it at least workable, right? I've just learned with some people, I just flat out avoid them, and it's not me being lame or weak. It's just me knowing that that's the best case scenario for me and for them. I have no need to talk to them, and so I'm just not gonna, unless we're all in like an all staff meeting or something. But yeah, for other situations, maybe you can't avoid the person, but figure out ways that you can keep the conversation.
Yeah.
Or you just can have boundaries and say, I'm not going to talk about that right now. End of story. You know, it's totally fine to say that. You can decide what you want to talk about or not in those kind of situations. So wanted you guys to be aware of that. I'm going to show you one last thing. Any comments so far? I don't want to leave anyone behind in the dust.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay. Thumbs up. All right. So this is the last thing I like to point out. Maybe I like matrices. I love to compartmentalize things, or at least have a visual. This is not the end all of communication, but here are some typical patterns people will have. And if you see yourself on here, that's fine. I'm not saying, oh, you're a terrible person. It's just a way to be aware. Or you might see other people you know that you work with or live with. So the ideal is obviously up here in green, right? The win-win scenario where it's productive and you're finding ways for everyone to be at least satisfied. You know, this could
Vindictive.
What?
I was just reading the vindictive one. That one seems a little.
That one can totally happen. In the productive and the green side, you know, you're finding compromise or collaboration, or you're finding a way that we can all just.
I didn't mean to interrupt you at all. I'm sorry. I was just reading.
You're fine. Yeah, if you go over here to like the lose-win, that means it's a competition. And we've probably been in situations where someone's like, I'm always a winner and you're always going to lose. Those are the arguments I hate. They're always not going to hear what you have to say. They don't listen to reason maybe, or whatever it is, right? They always have that comeback or whatever it might be. That is just a really difficult situation and person to be with, and finding ways to not get engaged with those type of people. Or there's the permissive side. If you are that, or if you know other people who just always let you have your way. Oh, you know, like, oh, that's fine. Don't worry about it. You do that. No, I'm probably wrong. Kind of a doormat kind of thing where they're just always going to let other people win, which makes them lose. This is not a good situation to be in either, because there are times where you really do need to set a boundary and say, this is not okay. And I don't want to talk about this, or I'm not going to go there with you. And you're, you know, violating my boundaries in that sense. So being permissive isn't always a great place to be. And then, of course, lastly is the vindictive. And there are definitely those people who are like, if I'm going to lose, you are all going to lose, right? We're going to burn this house down together. So I don't care if I lose. I'm going to make sure everyone is not.
That one was just the most funny, I feel like.
It is funny, yes. It makes great villains in movies, right? And it makes that kind of great satirical humor. Awful to work with, though.
Yeah, very.
Not a great scenario. Probably not a good friend. But yeah, there are those people who just decide they've got nothing to lose and they're going to take everyone down with them. So those are definitely people I would avoid in my life, or try to not have to be around a lot. But this is a really broad view of different communication styles that people use. Sometimes you use all of them. Sometimes you're being super productive. Sometimes you're going to be competitive. But I really hope don't try to go down the vindictive route where you're just going to take everyone down. But yeah, so that's really quick overview about communication skills. I didn't touch a lot on conflict. We could touch on conflict more next week if we want to. Stop screen sharing. So yeah, so real quick, I think that was like 20 minutes. 10 minutes. Any other thoughts or comments about this? Anything that you seen was good, or you're like, whatever? I'm good to hear it all. Or you can put it in the chat, either one.
It's not about this,
Okay.
but I can wait till you're done.
Okay. You can go now too. It's totally fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I was gonna say it was.
Do you have something else that's not about this, Cam?
No, I was just waiting for it. Like, I stopped talking. I was gonna say something. She's like, "It's something about this," and then she's like, "But I could wait until the end." And I was like, "No, just say it now," because I was gonna say something, but I forgot it. So,
Brandy said that I was working on my application with you this week.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
How do
So-
you want to do that? Should I just message you on Facebook or something?
So I'm not in the group message. I don't have those permissions to get into the group messenger. But you do have my email, and I can throw it here in the chat too if you want.
'Cause I don't even know what the application looks like or anything. I haven't even seen it myself yet.
Okay. Yeah. Let's email, and then I could even send you another Zoom invite, and we could sit and do that. And would that work for you to do like a Zoom?
Sure.
Okay. Shoot me an email. I have your email too. I'm gonna have to find it again, but I have it. And yeah, let's do that. I think Brandy did send me the application, so I've looked it over briefly. Or she sent me the link. I think that's what it was. So yeah, let's do that. Let's look at that together and then see where we want to go from there.
Okay.
So do you want to do that? I guess you realize, do you want to do that today, or do you want to do that tomorrow?
Yeah, sometime today. After this meeting, I have to go do like a couple things, but then I should be free.
Okay. I'm looking at my calendar really quick. Yeah, I have time like at 1. Would 1 work for you?
Yeah, 1 would work.
Okay. I'll send you an email with a link around a little before 1. Does that sound good?
Okay.
All right. Thanks. Anybody have any other comments or questions about our very fast communication lesson?
yeah. No,
Honestly,
to be honest,
this is
you kind of say it like how it should be. So,
Yeah. Not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. That's for sure.
for sure, yeah.
What did you have to say, Danny?
I was saying it pretty much sounds like common sense. Like everybody there's different sides to them. Like win, lose, win, lose, win. Like and then vindictive.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, like Danny said, it's common civil communication skills. So I honestly don't have too much to say. I'm just here just to be here. I'm not at work today.
That's fine. And I think being aware that these are considered common communication skills, so that when you're in a situation where someone doesn't have these, being aware of how you can work with someone like that, because you will find them. You're gonna, I mean, people.
Yeah, there's already guys in our group that some of these, you know what I mean? So.
Right. You think that this is how it should go, and then you run into that person somewhere and you're like, whoa, hey, that's not the normal rules of society. Why are
Oh,
you?
no, not that. I was talking about more like, somebody who is who knows how to communicate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who has effective community, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? We're on a job site, I need help removing a nail or something. I asked Danny, hey, Danny, can you remove the nail? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those basic communication skills could help, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just feel like,
I'm horrible at it.
You're horrible at it.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
you ain't too bad at it.
But-
But what do you see yourself being horrible at?
Communication.
What parts of it do you think you're bad at?
When I get frustrated, taking a step back to let someone else take over and
Okay.
try to solve everything on my own.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm very independent, but I sometimes ask for help when I'm not frustrated. But when I am frustrated, I refuse help. I know that for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
I suck at communicating.
What was that?
I suck at it.
You suck at it?
Yeah.
Communication as well?
But Danny, typically most of the time that's good in communication because you don't want to blow up on the person that you're trying to solve the situation with.
Yeah. That's a great point, Billy. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to lose it. You want to take a moment and get yourself kind of situated again so you're not just reacting, right?
Sorry, I didn't mean to flick everybody off. Another scam caller to my phone at early in the morning.
Yeah, your body language. Watch out.
I hate scam callers, man.
I hear that.
I get them like 18 times a day.
You know you
And I'm
could block
this
all
close to
unknown
making my
numbers,
phone
right,
number
Danny?
private, but I don't want to.
I was gonna say, why don't you just do that? Because all unknown numbers you won't get.
Because I still get unknown numbers too.
What?
Somehow I can call private numbers, but I'm not a private number. So I'm just like taking advantage of this loophole in my plan. But still, so many freaking scam callers. Like, they've seen it at work. I'll sit there and I'll pull out my phone as it's going, as my ringtone's going off. And I'm like, scam caller, fuck it.
You know, if you answer and tell them to stop calling, they like take you off the list.
I've done that, and you know how many different numbers I've gotten of fucking, no offense, Cam, the same dude that calls from the freaking, says his name's Cam, recorded message for fucking STCU.
Don't compare me. Don't compare
Other
me.
places like that, you know, like in student loans, the student loan one calls off of like God knows how many numbers. Or like,
Dude, I think I know what you're talking about.
He upgraded. I'm not even a student anymore.
Do you have student loans?
No, I don't have a student loan. I've never went to college.
No.
I did my GED through you guys, and that was through SCC, but like it's
Right.
I still get calls from the old dude that had this phone. His name was James, apparently. People still hit James up.
Yeah, I have that on my phone, and I've had my phone number for about 20 years.
I've had this one for like 4 months, and I still get calls from random people like, is this James? Nah.
This
Yeah.
is Patrick.
This is Patrick, bro.
All right, so we are going to be doing, I don't know who's all attending class at 11 with me, the career readiness, job readiness course that we're doing.
I will be there.
You'll be there? Okay.
Yeah, how do I get there?
At 11?
Okay. And Bailey, are
Will
you?
that be posted in the chat or?
Yeah, I think there'll be a link. I don't know, Lily, how did we do that last time? I don't remember how we did it last time.
Say again?
How did we post the link for the 11 o'clock class last week? I think Alex did it, and I don't remember what he did.
Oh, I can post a new one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll post a new one right at 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works. So that'll be on the Facebook page?
Yep.
Okay. That's how you'll get in. And for you guys who weren't there last week, we'll do a quick review. We started resume. I can share, if I get your guys' emails, I can share you our template and just kind of go over some basics from there. And then there's some stuff in Odysseyware as well that we can look at depending on what you're doing, healthcare, construction, whatever it is. Yeah, that's all I have for this class. We're a little shy of 10 o'clock and I don't have anything else to share if we've taken care of it. We good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think that's it.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
My
See
kid's
ya.
making me die on my food.